This is the Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Nguni. This Sunday, we will release the third term report form for the political class of 2018. And number one in class this year is Raila Odinga Amolo. From tear gas Mondays to weekends in Addis as the AU High Representative. From a rebel who took an illegal oath as president to a statesman dining with legitimate presidents. This man is a genius. And because of his cleverness, Raila gets an A+ for effort and an A- for achievement. Raila is as clever as the man who bought 12 rare cigars. Then he insured them against fire. Shortly after, he smoked them. When he finished the last cigar, he filed a claim with the insurance firm stating that the cigars had been destroyed in a series of small fires. The court forced the insurance to pay him $12,000. As soon as the clever man cashed the check, he was arrested for arson and intentionally setting insured property on fire. He was locked up for 24 months. Like this man, we wonder where Raila's cleverness will land him.
Second position in the political class of 2018 is occupied by President Uhuru Kenyatta. He was graded on two things. 1. Demolitions and the corruption Kamata Fridays. For effort on this, we give him an A. This man is bold. But for achievement, we give him a D+. A man is not judged by what he starts. He is judged by what he finishes. 2. The handshake. We never saw him coming on this. And for effort, we give him an A. However, we warn him that Raila is like the camel that went on a long journey with the Arab. At night, the Arab stopped, pitched his tent, and tied his camel. But the night was too cold. So the camel asked the Arab if he could put his head in the tent. The Arab agreed. Then the camel asked if he could put his neck and front legs. The Arab obliged. And then the camel complained that his hump was too cold. The Arab allowed him to put it in the tent. In the end, the entire camel got into the tent and kicked out the Arab. Is Foxy Baba taking over Uhuru's tent?
The third position in the political class of 2018 goes to William Samoei Ruto. We graded him on ability to do a good fight. He reminds us it is not the size of the dog that counts. It is the fight in the dog that matters. And for fighting the dynasties as an underdog, we give Ruto a B+. We deny him an A because of allowing Raila to replace him as the second most powerful person in Kenya. That said, Ruto is like the donkey that was pushed into the well by the farmer, or the dynasties. As the donkey cried for help, the farmer ignored it. Then suddenly, the farmer began to bury the donkey by shoveling some soil into the well. But like Ruto, the donkey was clever. With every shovel of soil, the donkey would shake it off and take a step up. As the farmer shoveled soil into the well, the donkey would shake it off again and take another step up. Eventually, the donkey was on top of the well and safe. As the dynasties shovel dirt on Ruto, he should shake it off and take a step up.
In the class of politics 2018, the last position is held by Justin Muturi, representing the National Assembly, and Ken Lusaka, representing the Senate. Justin Muturi gets an E for effort and an F for achievement. Ken Lusaka gets an F for effort and an F for achievement. Parliament reminds us of a magistrate in Tanzania who sentenced a dog to hang until it dies. Its crime? Its name was immigration. This dog was owned by a frustrated youth by the name Chizu. He hated the immigration department, and so he named his dog Immigration. Whenever he went to the department, he took the dog and ensured he called its name in the presence of immigration officials. Upset by this, the government took Chizu and his dog to court. They argued that the dog was impersonating an important government department. Convinced by this, the magistrate ordered the dog to be killed. But since the Tanzanian police could not spare a bullet, they clobbered the dog to death using a rungu from the immigration department. True story. This holiday, we should all call our dogs Parliament. Then we can check if the Magufuli flu has hit us as well. What do you think?
This year started with Raila swearing himself in as a people's president and leader of a rebel movement called NRM. That was January. In December, the year is now ending, and Uhuru is scheduled to visit Raila's home in Bondo for a feast of fish, nyatiti dance, and traditional changa, or whatever they will drink. How Raila changed from leader of a rebel movement to the second most powerful man in Kenya is still a mystery to me. Uhuru in Bondo was also unthinkable in January. Come December now, Uhuru is a hero in Bondo. What exactly happened? I submit that the country is witnessing the healing of historical wounds. In 1969, Jomo Kenyatta had a bitter exchange with his best friend, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga in Kisumu. Hundreds died in the public confrontation between the two leaders. But today, Uhuru and Raila are traveling to Bondo to make right the sins of their fathers. And in my view, Uhuru is a greater man in his journey of forgiveness. He has climbed down for Raila and the Odinga family. But as Uhuru is healing the 1969 historical wounds with the Odinga family, he should not ignore the 2007 wounds with the Kalenjin nation. They are still fresh and about to run over because of Ruto. Besides, the 1969 wounds were about family to family, but the 2007 wounds are about one nation, the Gema nation, against another nation, the Kalenjin nation.
And now our final grade. They are for the Dynasty and the Hustler nations. Dynasties get an A, Hustlers get an E. We will explain the grades using a story about Joseph Stalin, the Russian dictator. One day he went to a cabinet meeting with a live chicken. He sat on his bossy chair, said nothing, and started to pluck the feathers of the chicken one by one. The chicken screamed in pain, but Stalin continued to pluck the feathers until the chicken was naked. Happy with the results, he released the chicken and got some chicken feed. Then he threw them at the naked chicken. To the surprise of his cabinet, the chicken forgot its pain and started eating the feed from his hand. When Stalin got up, the chicken followed him wherever he went. Asked to explain this, he said, "This chicken represents the people. You can disempower them, brutalize them, and torture them. But if you give them peanuts in that desperate situation, they will follow you blindly." And this is how the dynasties have conditioned the people. The hustler nation has allowed itself to be brutalized and tortured. But when it is offered njugu kidogo, it forgets the brutality of dynasties.